You want me to show my shoes?
Why not?
Oh, interesting fact. Vodka. Have situations in which animals that used to exist before do not exist any longer. Most times, what happens is when you go to go and drop your things in those places. Do you understand what I mean, right?
The boxes.
Yes, the boxes. It's when you go to drop your things in those places that.
Hi, my name is Victoria. Welcome to the interview. Today we will be interviewing Peter Oshioke Nelson-Dogo. We will be talking about him today. So, what do you think? What do you think people will get in this interview, and what's the intention we want to start with?
Thank you very much, Victoria. My name is Peter Oshioke Nelson-Dogo, and I'm originally from Nigeria, but I'm also an entrepreneur. And today I'm going to tell people about Swapify, which is a brand that I'm currently working on with my team. And Swapify is an eco-friendly platform that we created where people can come to exchange for items. You can exchange, for instance, a shoe with a book, understand, or a book for a knife or something, you understand? But also, you can outrightly donate these things out. So you have a lot of things in your house that you don't use any longer. You can outrightly just be like, hey, I want to give these things out. If anybody wants them, come and get them. So that is what we're about. So we are primarily an eco-friendly platform that believes in decluttering and exchange.
I think it's a really good mission.
Thank you very much.
I want to know, who is Peter beyond Swapify?
Peter, okay. So Peter is, like as I said, I'm from Nigeria, originally from Nigeria. I've been in Estonia for exactly 4 years in September. And I initially came here for my master's degree in material science and technology from the University of Tartu, the city of good thoughts. Yeah. But I have a bachelor's in electrical and electronics engineering from the University of Benin in Nigeria. And yeah, currently I work as a team lead in WISE, TransferWise, which is a very fantastic company that has also helped me grow in my leadership role, because currently I lead a team in WISE and also lead a team in Swapify. But I use what I've learned in WISE in Swapify, so it's more like a win-win situation for me. So that's Peter for you. But again, I have a team I'm privileged to have a team across the globe. I have a team, some of my team members are in Estonia as well. I have my CTO in Estonia, as the person of Peter Oshioke. He's also from Nigeria. I have some of my teammates in Ghana, in Kenya, in Ethiopia. Yeah, these are places I have currently my team.
So what's inspired to make a Swapify, and what's the spark behind it?
So back in 2019, I was in my shop. So I make clothes. I like clothes, I make clothes, and I was making clothes one time. And as I was making these clothes, my friend walks in, his name is Laddie. Laddie walks in and he likes a pants trouser I was making. I was actually making a pants trouser. And he's like, yo, Peter, I like this pants trouser, but I do not want to buy it right now because it's not something I want to incur as a cost. So, but he knew that I like shoes so much. I really do like shoes. And I was like, yo, Peter, I have this pair of Timberland shoes and I will give it to you. You give me this pants trouser. I was like, okay, I can always make another pants trouser, you understand, right? So, yeah, I said, okay, let's do the trade. And we did the trade, but that clicked. You understand? That was when I had this light bulb moment that we don't always have to buy new things. And if we don't always have to buy new things, why don't we give out the things we already have to get other things? Because these are monetary value and also have value in its entirety. You understand? Because each time a creator makes a product, a creator makes a product that has value. Yeah, so that was how Shopify just came about. And I've been working on it since 2019, but I had to put a pause to it because I came from my master's. And after my master's, right now that I'm done with my master's, I'm very much focused on it. It also gives me an opportunity to help reduce waste, because as an engineer, we know about idle time. Idle time is something that engineers always try to cut in production. So idle time transcends, also includes, for instance, you have clothes that you don't use, you have free time that you're not using that you have used for other things. So those are all waste that can be better used. And that's what Shopify is also focused on, eliminating waste in its entirety or as much as possible.
Yeah, I really liked the real story behind it. I think it's really strong.
Thank you very much.
Yes. So why do you think sustainability now? Like, why do we need it?
That's a very good question. The reason why we need to start focusing on sustainability is because we've noticed that things do not exist forever. Even humans have a life cycle, you understand? And the products, the resources that we have currently in the world are not limitless, you understand? So for instance, you have situations in which animals that used to exist before do not exist any longer. We have natural resources that are depleting in huge numbers. If you go back, for instance, if you go to Nigeria, we have places that we used to have, for instance, like bitumen. They're no longer there. And even oil, some places are becoming like you don't have oil in this place again, like crude oil. So we need to start looking for either alternate ways or even given those products that have already been done, we need to completely use them. Look at stories of, for instance, in Paris, you notice like a huge amount of clothes are being wasted annually. You understand this, and those clothes could be either rewoven and made into new clothes without us having to go destroy, let's say, some trees or some cotton or some chemicals to reproduce these things. You get so right now is a good time, and the number of the population in the world is increasing in tremendous value. So at a particular point, we find that what we currently have cannot sustain us. So we have to start thinking of actually going to moon, going to Mars, and things like that to keep sustainability. So that's why we need it right now.
What struggles you have come by as a business, like mission-based, and what helps you to keep on going with this mission?
Oh, one major struggle is one of the struggles that all the eco-friendly platforms also have, and that is how do you sustain yourself if you're a business by making revenue? It's one major struggle. Sincerely, I still keep discussing with my team how we're going to make revenue. We don't know how exactly yet, but this doesn't stop us because the value we create transcends. Sometimes I don't know if this is good for my investors or my would-be investors to hear, but the value we create transcends the monetary value that we would make. That satisfaction that I would achieve when I know that I have created a product that gives sustainability, that creates an eco-friendly platform. That satisfaction that I would derive will be tremendous, will be way beyond. It's one of the things that makes me do this thing. You understand? So is that thing that makes me do it. And when I look at the struggles I have, but when I look at the glory at the end, I definitely wake up in the morning and I do it again. So I've been doing this since 2019. I've had that dream 2019, positive for 2 years when I was doing my masters, and I'll keep doing it. But hopefully we'll see how we can make some financial gains from it as well. I hope does that answer your question?
Wow, that was really good. I'm also really passionate about something, so I can understand how much it means to you personally.
Thank you.
So what is Swapify exactly in simple terms?
So the name swap, to swap, to exchange, right? Yeah, but it's also way beyond that. It's also a platform that we say you donate, that you can give stuff outrightly. So what we currently have as we speak today, we have a web app. So on the web app, you can go to our web platform and you can make exchanges. You can register. When you register, you can list a product. When you list a product, then you have the characteristic, you have the power to swap. But if you do not list a product, you can ask for something. If you see somebody listed a product for donation, then you can ask for it. But you can only swap with someone when you have a product. So exactly what Swapify does is bring people together who don't always want to buy new stuffs, who want their old stuffs to give them new stuffs, you understand, or who want to give away their old stuff. So we are on the web app, and currently we are building a mobile app which will be available on the Android and the Apple, for iPhone users as well, will be on both platforms. So yeah, it's primarily a tech-based platform that is based on sustainability. Easy. And just think of an e-commerce platform where you don't spend money. It's your products that you use to get. Or so if you use the product to get other products, which is an exchange, then for donation, how do you get it? by writing a good message to the person that listed the product. So if I list, for instance, a book that I want to donate a book, I want to give out these books. I have a couple of books in my house. I want to give these books out. And 5 people write to me, hey, Peter, I see you have these books by Sidney Sheldon, and I would like this book. One person just says, I'd like to have this item. Another person says, hey, Peter, I'm a strong and avid Sidney Sheldon fan, and I would like to read this book by him. I would like you to give me this book if you don't mind. I will most likely go for the person that wrote that very good letter of intention to me, you understand? So that's what Swapify is about. Exchange and donation.
So it makes like the things more personal.
Yes, makes things personal.
That's nice. So if I was a person, like I know that I like to like thrift shop, I buy clothes there, and I know there's an option to go to Facebook to sell your stuff, or to go Yaga, which is a new page now. Then why do you think we could use Swapify instead? Like, is there any bigger value, or what to differentiate it?
Okay, for instance, Yaga, for instance, you pay for Yaga. There's financial, you have to put money into it. Facebook is either you're selling, and if you're trying to donate something, then it's just outrightly there. You stand the chance there will be more time taken for another person, for the person that actually wants your product to see that product. Because Facebook is not streamlined to focus on product sales or product exchange, you understand? But Swapify smart algorithm is, the design is for e-commerce based on barter, e-commerce based on exchange, you understand? So that, for instance, I can go to Facebook, I can go to Swapify and search baby items. I say baby item because my for instance, let's say my wife has a baby and we need it's a trolley, you call it now, or a stroller, and then I just be like, hey, baby item, just search on Shopify, you understand? So immediately it pops up, and I see that it is available for swap or available for donation. In Facebook, you have to, there's a rigor, it's a game of chance in Facebook, but Shopify is very specific because of the algorithm, the way it was built, you understand? So our filters are there to help people streamline the process. And you can also list your product immediately on Swapify. And again, Swapify also brings you to, we have filters that are state-based. For instance, you're in Tallinn, you can just put your search in Tallinn. You're in Narva, you can put it in Narva. But in Facebook, for instance, you don't have that option per se. You have to, it's a very large place. You understand? There's no specificity in Facebook as well as Shopify. So Shopify is the platform if you want to exchange or get your items submitted. And again, one thing you have to understand is most people that go to Facebook takes things. When you go to Facebook, it's just like going to this place where we have, like this place where the dumping ground where a lot of us, if you have a lot of products you don't need, you go dump them there. What's it called? It's by City of Tallinn. I forgot the name of the place. So most times what happens is when you go to go and drop your things in those places. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
right?
the boxes.
Yes,
Yeah,
the boxes.
big boxes.
It's when you go to drop your things in those places that you tend to pick something from there. It's not because you needed that thing. So if you notice, it's usually out of greed. Oh, I see this fine chair. Oh, let me take it because it might fit. You didn't really need that chair. But if you go on Shopify intentionally to search for an item, that shows an intention. You wanted a particular item. So that's one thing Shopify does. It reduces greed and also helps you kind of track the items. Looking forward, if you maybe there's a question you ask, and I'll tell you our future plans that shows how people will be able to track the items in the future. But that's what Shopify is also trying to give you an opportunity to also kind of track your item. Yeah.
Really mindful. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm curious myself, actually, like why Swapify? Why not just swap, or why the name? Like how it came to life?
True story. Oh my God, you need to know the names I've tried. I've tried various names. I remember back then when I was in 2019, I had a name called Tribeland. Tribeland. Yeah, I had that name, for instance. But Swapify, I picked Swapify. I would like to. I got Swapify from ChatGPT.
Oh.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Why do you overthink it?
You understand?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I got it. But it's I like it. It's very, very Yeah, it's Swapify.
So you talk about life cycling of an item, like what does it mean? Like, what do you mean by that?
Life cycle. Okay, I make clothes as a passion. Like I like to make clothes. I'm making clothes for 10 plus years. And one thing, when I make clothes, for instance, when I make clothes, I used to speak to my clothes. I speak to the clothes. I'm like, you're beautiful. You understand? You would the person that's going to wear you is going to enjoy you. You understand? I speak those kind of words to the clothes. It's kind of like very. It's kind of like putting my personality, my essence into that clothes. It's like an artist. It's even like an engineer that designs a bridge or something. You're putting your personality into that product. And your personality that you put into it, your essence that you put into it, even with in consummation with the materials that are being used, there is a life cycle for that product. There is a use. A human being would, from infancy, go to maturity, and then from maturity, go down again to death, for instance, you understand? That is the life cycle of each product. So a product is also like an entity, like a human being that has that cycle. You get. So with that, if you understand that essence that you put into it, that you're giving life to that product, then you know that there is an expectancy that you have from it. And that is that life cycle that you have. Thank you.
So what could we like swap and donate in there? Could I swap like my earrings, or like is there any limit? No?
Well, of course, we didn't include that you can swap guns. But as long as those products are, as long as those products are, we have, like, you can swap anything literally. But of course, if you want to start swapping things like guns, of course, they'll be flat, right? Harmful stuffs. Yes, things that are outrightly harmful, you understand? But literally, you can swap anything. You can swap anything that is within the coffers of products that you can go to the supermarket and buy, or go to the shop and buy. You understand? You should be able to swap all those things. If you do not have those products exactly listed there as a category, of course, there's an option for others that you can swap. Yes.
So what you can do also is like buy example candle and you kind of like donate it, and then you can just gift it to someone. That's also possible.
Of course, if you want to do that, you do it the way you want to use it. So we're waiting to design. Of course, we have an idea, but we're going to design properly moving forward based on user feedback.
Okay.
Yes, we're going to be very much user friendly. Yes.
Who is it really for? What kind of people may find it important to them?
Okay, so let me say it this way. I think you're trying to say who was an average Shopify kind of user, right? Yeah. So an average Shopify kind of user is somebody that's eco-conscious. Yes, that's got, of course, still got a swag. You're still eco-conscious, but you've got your swag, you've got your style, you understand? And you are that, for instance, you're that person that would exchange, for instance, a gold necklace. You're somebody that can actually you can wear a gold necklace from a thrift shop. Who would find a gold necklace in a thrift shop? But you're that kind of person that wouldn't mind finding a gold necklace in a thrift shop, because you know that gold is valuable anywhere you find it. So that is that kind of a mindset kind of a person. So you are fly, you are eco-conscious, you're conservative in, of course, understanding that not things should not be outrightly thrown away. You understand? Things can have better use or maybe more use. But again, that doesn't mean things cannot be thrown away, of course. You're not overtly I wouldn't say you're not too much of everything, but you're still very cool. So Shopify does not take that idea from people that you have to be this very stoic and that kind of a person. You can reduce your carbon footprint in tidbits. You don't want to be outrightly very out there and try to do everything once. No, you can do it in tidbits, you understand? So Shopify is actually for every person that doesn't like waste. That is only.
Can you share any success stories you have so far in the platform?
Yeah, I'll tell you, one of our first exchange wasn't even on the platform, and that's the funniest story. It was Because we created a Facebook platform to test the process, to get some people to sign up first, to like see how people would like exchange and people would like to donate in Estonia, for instance. So one of the first success story was, you remember I told you that the main reason why I entered Shopify was because of a shoe exchange with a trouser, right? A pants trouser. The first thing that was ever transactional on Swapify's Facebook platform was actually a shoe. You understand? So this keeps pointing us to the fact that fashion is is one big market for us, which we will look at in the future. But yeah, so fashion and that was a very, very nice success story because it kind of coincided with my initial vision, the initial how do you call it? Bob Lights, the kind of the initial way in which I got the idea, and then the first exchange that was ever made. So it was still a shoe that was ever made in an electronic platform. So that is one success story. But again, other success stories I've had has been having one of the best teams. Yes, I've had, of course, a very, very outstanding team that is consistently striving for, that's really feedback driven. So with my team, I know that everybody owns a piece of it, at least everybody shows to own a piece of it, and that is a very major success story. They're not just working for me, they're working with me.
What are your long-term goals for Swapify?
If I say this now, would someone not go and take my idea and start working on it? No, but come on, the ideas are one, how do you call it? There's this adage you see, the ideas are cost of pending. So long-term goals for Swapify is to focus on 1 or 2 products in the future, in the next 2 years, that we can actually track their life cycle. And out of these products, we talk to various stakeholders, like, for instance, let's say fashion. We look at fashion as its entirety, and we have places that people can come to take clothes based on subscription. You don't always have to buy a new amount of clothes. You can just register on our platform, and you can come pick some clothes there, use it after a while, return them, and that cycle keeps going. You keep increasing your carbon responsibility. You understand? And then we're able to also track the life cycle of these clothes. You understand that kind of thing? So that is one major future for Shopify. We're looking at focusing on 1 or 2 products that we can give a subscription-based model on, and people can come and take those things, subscribe to the platform, take them, and then return them after use. So that is what we're looking to have.
I think it's a really interesting idea.
Yeah.
I like that, how the future goal is really big.
Thank you
I
very much.
hope you will succeed.
Thank you.
So how do you measure all of that impact environmentally and socially?
Yeah, so the measure we're currently using, the various models that are being used to measure those the impact we can make. You understand that we at the moment is not a release in our MVP. It's our product, like show you, hey, these are your carbon footprints, what your impact is as an individual. We are not doing that currently because it's quite enormous for us to do. But of course, we have that as something we are also working on as a team. Some of the things we're going to do so that each user on our platform can see their impact measurably. For instance, the MIT did a research recently that shows you what's a cotton shirt, the carbon footprint of the cotton shirt. You understand? So imagine if we have a subscription model in which people can subscribe to take clothes, right? And then when they take those clothes, then they return them. That carbon footprint, they've only 50 people share in one shirt's carbon footprints compared to one person takes that shirt, which would have made that person. So let's say the carbon footprint is like 3.0 grams per cubic. Because I don't know the SI unit for carbon right now. So but now it will be, instead of 1 person is equals to 3, it will now be 3 divided by 50. You understand? Which would be like I don't know the numbers right now. I need the calculator for that. But you understand the concept that we would incorporate that later, but right now we're not in our scope as at our MVP.
Do you think Swapify can really change consumer behavior? Is it possible?
Yeah, it's possible with this mindset, and that's a mindset I got from the company I currently work in, TransferWise. There's a statement in one of our values. There's one of our values, I think it's written in some of our walls when we enter the office. It says it is a marathon, not a sprint. Shopify would. It's not going to be overnight, of course, but it's going to be a process, a continuous process. And if we can change 800,000 people in Estonia, we made a massive impact in the world. Do you understand? If it's only Estonia we could ever be able to achieve, then of course we'll achieve. We'll be in every part of the world. Shopify will do that for sure. I know that, yeah. So, but if we're able to just do Estonia, for instance, we made a massive impact, and that will resonate all over the world very soon.
So, how people can be involved and really immerse themselves in your mission?
Well, of course, sign up. Sign up to the platform, use the platform, refer people to it. Understand? Believe in us and give us feedback. We will make some mistakes. Trust me. Of course, maybe sometimes our servers might be down, but don't how do you say? Don't throw the bathwater away and the baby. You can throw the bathwater away, but don't throw the baby away. So give us the feedback, stay with us, and follow our process. We will always be feedback driven, will always be user friendly, we will strive to be user friendly. So that's how you can be part of it. And yeah, for now, I feel that's the biggest way you can be a part of it, like spread the word around and things like that.
And I understand it's only now in Estonia, right?
Yes, currently it's only now in Estonia. Yes.
To all the startups or newcomers who want to also have, let's say, similar impact, like what lessons or anything you would like to share with them that has helped you to continue this sole purpose that's really close to you?
I think one of the first things you have to have let your heart speak for you. You understand? Let what you want to do come from your heart. It's very, very important because your heart is, well, maybe I'm speaking emotional, but of course you have to have an emotional attachment to your product. You have to love your product. You understand? So that's one very important part. Yes, you can be, when you love your product, don't forget the data. Use data to understand your product. Very important. You understand? And you have a lot of AI out there and platforms that can help you understand the product with respect to data. You have to be resilient. You have to be able to cancel out the noise. You have to believe in it. You have to be able to envision it from beginning to the end. You have to see it. You have to really visualize it. Like take walks, visualize it. You understand? You have to do that. But again, which still is, you still have to be resilient because it will not all be rosy. Look at me working on this since 2019 and I'm still on it till now. I don't even know how to make money from it. Maybe I make money from it, maybe I don't make money from it. Hopefully I make money from it. At least I'm sustainable from it, right? Yes. But you also have to consider, that also brings in that you have to focus on how do you make money from it. But resilience, I think resilience is the biggest thing I can tell any person that wants to start on. Like be resilient, be a bit stubborn, but listen to people. Be a bit, like literally be a bit stubborn because when you believe beyond reasonable doubts that you're right, go for it. Fail. Yes, fail early, that's the thing. Just fail and do something else. But because if you don't do it, if you never do it, you will never be satisfied. When you look in the mirror, you always feel, I should have done this thing. And the funny thing is, somebody else does it and becomes successful. Yeah, so, sure.
As you said before, like you have like a big vision and dreams for it, hopefully, and it needs a lot of thrive because you put a lot of years to it. You need to like stay focused, and it has to come from like I want to do it. Like it's something close to my heart. So yeah. That really explains everything. What do you think is one thing that people misunderstand about sustainability?
Well, of course, the fact that it can be done in a week. Some persons feel that it's going to be a rush, like today they're just going to be sustainable, they're just going to do it so quickly, and that is it. No, take a chill pill, you understand? It's like going to exercise yourself. You don't exercise. You don't do one exercise and expect the same result like somebody that's been there for 1 year. You understand? And if you even do it in a sprint, you would lose momentum. So do it little bit, like little bit. Just on maybe ask someone, do you want this thing, instead of throwing it away and do it that way. But also another thing people feel about sustainability and misconception is that you would not be able to break even if it's a business. You understand? You will not be able to break even. You will not make money from it. I think that's wrong. You won't make money from it. I know sustainable businesses that are striving. And for instance, I would say I've been opportunity to meet one sustainable CEO, for instance, Green Dice, who's an Estonian company that believes in revamping laptops and renting them out on a subscription-based model. Fantastic. You understand? It's going to be a fantastic idea. It's a fantastic idea that's currently working on. So kudos to that. So those are things that people feel. Of course, they feel that they won't make money from sustainability, and they feel that they can do it in a week, which is not possible.
So we can all become more sustainable in every day, just continuing for years and years and implementing the steps.
Yes.
By joining Swapify.
Of course,
right?
Swapify.
So where do you think this company in 5 years will grow to? Like, what are the rough ideas? I know we talked about this one idea. Anything else you want to share?
Currently, we're looking at our next stop after Estonia, because Estonia is on pilot. We're looking at Finland and Germany. Yeah, those are our next stops. So, like, of course, implement. But again, like I told you, the next big plan, apart from going to those countries, is to implement something like Usto-Tescos or like Humana, but it's in a subscription-based model. Like, you understand? Subscription-based model, that is what we will be in the next 5 years. But yeah, and maybe some other products that are sustainable in its entirety, because like as I said, we'll be feedback driven, and what the customers tell us, we work primarily on that. So now we're working primarily with, first we came with our plan, but now we involve the plan of the customers to show us the way. Go for it.
So if you could swap one item with anyone in the world, who would that be?
If I could swap one item.
One person.
With one person. If I could swap one item, it would be shoes. Yes, I like shoes. And if it would be one person, it would be Mark Wahlberg. Mark Wahlberg is an actor in America, very famous actor. He's a sneakerhead, and I like sneakers. So yes, Mark Wahlberg.
Sneaker guy.
Yeah, shoe guy.
So what are you wearing now?
You're kind of in my apartment, in my office, so I'm kind of very casual, but
Okay. You can still show.
you want me to show my shoes?
Why not?
Okay. I'm wearing just regular Nike shoes, yes.
You still have shoes at home.
These shoes at home, yeah, no, I should be cut on fresh. I'm sustainable, but I like to still be cool.
Still shoes. Gotta wear those.
Thank you.
So what's the most unexpected item you ever swapped or donated?
Oh, interesting fact. Vodka. Like for real, vodka. Smirnoff vodka.
And who got it?
I can't remember. Okay, but it was, I think someone wrote on the platform and said he wanted it. It was vodka.
And what, did you swap something?
No, it was a donation. The person just listed. I think maybe the person didn't want to drink and just listed.
Have a nice night. Drink. Let's go.
Yeah.
Free. What's the one item in your closet you wouldn't part with? Shoes? No?
No, but the funny thing is, as much as I like shoes, I like to get shoes. So I would swap shoes, you understand, with you, 20%. But something I wouldn't part with. Oh, handmade sweatshirt by my mom. My mom made me a sweatshirt. She made something. I ain't giving that for no one. Yeah. That's always going to be there.
Yes, that's special.
For sure.
I agree. Keep those beautiful sweaters.
Yes, and it's a lot of colors. It's actually a color riot. She just mixes various colors together, and I just keep it small. Maybe I give it to my child one day when I have kids. Be an heirloom to the next.
Keep it, please.
Never exchange it.
It's gonna be me when I have it. Okay. So, what's your favorite part running Swapify now?
My favorite parts would be the learning curve, the learnings from Swapify, the leading a team and be able to achieve our goals, you understand our objectives. That is massive. We might succeed, we might fail, but we would learn, we would become better individuals compared to where we were before we did Swapify. Absolute. That is not questionable. Yeah. That's for me is the biggest part for me.
Team, the family,
Yes.
the big family. If Swapify would be a person, how would you describe it?
If Shopify would be a person, how would I describe it? Shopify would be the one, every person in it. Shopify is in every one of us, either currently or in the future. So every person that is going to ever hear this, or every person, more than 7 billion or 9 billion people in the world, people that have existed before are all characteristics or models of Shopify. It's not just one singular person.
It's us.
It's all of us, yeah.
Community.
Yeah, that's it. Community. I like that. Take this.
So if Swapify could change the world, what the change would be?
Well, we will let the world and the people, because of this individualistic nature, decide that. But one thing for certain is the goal of Shopify is to declutter, to reduce waste. The way it's going to do that will be the way the people are going to decide, the users are going to decide. Understand? In their own way. They're going to reduce it in their own way, but they know that this is the vision. You know, various people can go this route. Everybody's going, the goal is to get to this point, but some people go this way, and get here. Some people go like this, some people go like this, some people go like that. So that's it. But this is our goal for Swapify. The way they're going to achieve it is going to be their personal vision and goal, their journey, personal journey for sure.
So I want to swap now because I'm really sold on it.
Okay.
So how can I do it?
Sign up. Swapify.ee.
Swapify.ee. Did you hear it, guys?
Yeah, Swapify.ee.
Go check it out.
Thank you very much.
Yes, definitely gonna try it.
I appreciate that a lot.
If you want to support Swapify mission, then check out their website, swapify.ee. It's available in Estonia, so you can go in Instagram, LinkedIn, and also join their Facebook group.